For the Chapter 4 review, we are going to cover concepts such as domain range, relation, function, vertical line test, discrete and continuous data, equations of linear functions, how to calculate the rate of change, beginning value, and how to graph quadratic functions. If you do not know your vocabulary, please make sure you look at your notes 4.1 to 4.9. I am going to look at question number 2, so I'm going to jump around to our review, that way I can cover the most topics. I'll read it. It says, a tomato seed is planted in the beginning of the summer. It sprouts and begins to grow. The plant grows at a rate of 1.5 inches per week. After 6 weeks, the plant's height is 18 inches. Complete the table and answer the questions below. So I know that at week 6, the plant is 18 inches and its grow rate is 1.5 inches per week. So it does not tell me that at week 1 the plant was 1.5 inches. Okay, what it tells me is that after 6 weeks the plant is 18 inches. So I can put that value into my table. Now, the rate at which it's happening is the pattern that I can continue. So if I were to continue week 7, it would be 19.5 inches. Okay, but in order to go backwards, you want to subtract that 1.5. So 18 minus 1.5 is 16.5, minus 1.5 is 15, minus 1.5 is 13.5, minus 1.5 is 12, and then one more time, minus 1.5 is 10.5. Okay, once you have your values filled in, you can answer the questions below. So the rate of change is your pattern for your y's divided by your pattern for your x's. Well, my pattern here is plus 1.5, and my pattern for your x's is 1. So my rate is 1.5 over 1, which just gives me 1.5. Now, your initial value is your y value and x is 0. So I have to go back so that I can hit 0 on my left column. And if I go back if I subtract 1.5 again, that will take me to 9. So my initial value when x is 0, y is 9. Your equation is set up y equals your rate, which is the 1.5, x plus your beginning value. When it wants us to interpret the rate of change, that means you have to, take that phrase that we came up with where we take our y label, we put the word per in there, and then we say our x label. So my rate is 1.5, so this is 1.5. My y label is inches, so 1.5 inches. Throw the word per in. My x label is week. Okay, so my rate of change is 1.5 inches per week. Interpret the initial value. My initial value is 9. Well, what does that mean? That means in our phrase that we use is initially the value that we have, so initially 9, and then we need our y label, inches. Okay, so what this is saying is that initially our plant was 9 inches. Okay.